Hi everyone, it's Rachel here. I'm back for our second week of SU and Expedition Force. Really hope you enjoyed last week and using our sense of hearing as we explored Jesus arriving into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday. And from that we learnt that it's really important for us to listen to God and what He says to us, but also to celebrate and thank Him for all that He has done and all that He is doing in our lives and in the world. We're going to explore a little bit more of the Easter story this week, but this time we're going to be using a different sense. We're going to be using our noses because today's story is a little bit of a smelly one. And don't worry, if this is your first time joining us, you can take part in SU today and then you can look back on YouTube to last week's story so you don't miss out too. But like last week, you're going to need a few things with you. So I've got them. Make sure you have, if you don't already have somebody in the house helping you to gather these things up. The first thing you're going to need are some smelly items. For today, usually you can find these in the kitchen or in the bathroom. So I've got things like cinnamon, some spices, and maybe there's perfume or aftershave around your house. Maybe, and I like this one, some chocolate. Or I've also got some smelly cheese. But just things that have a really strong scent. You're also going to need then some tin foil, really important for that, and a cup or several cups or mugs, things that you can't see through. If you only have like a see-through cup, then maybe getting a little blindfold or something that can cover your eyes. And if you don't have any of those things, then grab yourself some paper and a pencil. And Joel's going to explain what he wants you to do.
Thanks, Rachel. Hi everyone, my name is Joel. For today's game, we're going to be using our sense of smell. I wonder how good you are at guessing things from how they smell. Well, ask somebody at home to gather together some smelly things, probably from around the kitchen, and put them into some mugs. Cover over the mug with some tin foil and put some holes into the top. Then it's up to you to see if you can guess what those different smells are. Ooh. Don't worry if you can't do that. Maybe instead you might make a list of things that you like the smell of. I put down freshly cut grass. That's a really nice smell. Or cookies baking in the oven. I might have to make some of those later. Or maybe you could think of some really nasty smells, like old socks on the floor. Yuck! Once you've played the game or you've made your list, come back and join me. But for now, why don't you pause the video here? Well, how did you get on? Did you get them all right? And I wonder if you made a list. What was your favourite smell? We are going to read from the Bible now. So the Bible split into two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. We find this in the New Testament in the first book, the book of Matthew, and chapter 26. Remember, those are the big numbers on the page. And it starts in verse 6. Remember, verses are the small numbers on the page and goes through to verse 13. If you have a Bible at home, I encourage you to look that up for yourself later on and read it from your own Bible. Rachel's going to read from the Jesus Storybook Bible now, and she's going to read of a time where a woman did something really special that filled the room with a beautiful smell. So sit up and listen carefully as Rachel reads to us.
So our story today is in the Jesus Storybook Bible, and you'll find it begins on page 280. One night, Jesus went to dinner at an important leader's house. The important leader invited all his important friends. They were just sitting down to eat when a woman walked in. She was not invited, but everyone knew who she was. Psst! Who did she think she is? The guest whispered. How dare she? The woman walked straight up to Jesus. She was carrying very expensive perfume. Now the thing about perfume back then was that it didn't come in bottles. It came in jars. And the jars were made out of precious stone like alabaster. But here's the catch. The jars didn't have a lid or a stopper or anything. So the only way you got the perfume out was if you broke the jar. Once you broke the jar, that was it. You had no more. Most people didn't use perfume because it was too precious. They just kept it on a shelf and looked at it. So you see, this perfume was her most precious thing in all the world. It was her treasure. The woman knelt down before Jesus like he was a king. She held Jesus' feet in her hands and started to cry. Her tears fell onto Jesus' feet, washing them. She kissed his feet and dried them with her long dark hair. And then she did something strange. She broke the jar and poured the perfume all over his feet. Everyone gasped. What a waste! Over someone's feet! Such expensive perfume! It smelt like lilies in a summer field. Jesus looked at the woman and he smiled at her. What she had done was the most wonderful thing. Just as Samuel had anointed David, God's true king, all those years before, so this woman had anointed Jesus, not with oil, but with her tears.
Wow, how the smell must have filled the room for days. And even wherever Jesus went, they probably smelled that beautiful perfume from him. That was a really special thing that this lady did for him. In one of the other Bible books, we read that her name was Mary. She had a sister called Martha and a brother called Lazarus. And maybe you've heard some other stories about them in the Bible. We're going to take some time now to watch a video to help us to think about this a little bit more. It's a video from Life Kids and you're going to watch it on YouTube. The link you'll be able to find in the Facebook post or on the parent sheet that comes along with this. So why don't you take some time to watch that video, pause this one, and then come back and join me after you've watched it. And we'll have a little bit more of a think about what we learned from this story. I wonder how you would have felt if you were in the room with Mary and Jesus that day. I wonder, would you have thought it was a little bit silly? That Mary was making a really big mess? That it was a waste? Maybe you would have been surprised or a little bit confused about what she was doing. Well, the people who were in the room that day were really shocked at what Mary had done. The perfume that she had used was so expensive, it would have cost a lot of money. What was Mary thinking? That kind of perfume would have been used for a special occasion or for somebody really important. But actually, Mary used it because she wanted to show Jesus how much she loved him and how important Jesus was to her. This was a really special way of Mary showing Jesus how much she cared about him. I wonder how you and I could show Jesus how much we love him. What kind of things could we do to show God our love? Maybe if you're sitting with someone there, you could come up with some ideas, or maybe if you're by yourself, you could make a little list or have a little think about some things that you could do. I'm going to do the same just now. I'll make a little list of some ideas as well. You got some ideas there? Great. How about I share mine with you? How about we talk to God and we listen to God? We can do that by praying, just telling God how much we love him and how much we're thankful for what he has done for us. Maybe we could spend time learning about Jesus. Right now, when we're at home, we could probably do that online. There's loads of YouTube videos that we could watch. Or we can use things like the Guardians of Ancora to find out more about Jesus and the Bible. When your school starts back in the autumn, if there's an SU group in your school or a Bible club, you could go along and find out more about Jesus there. Or you could go along to a children's club or a Sunday school at your local church to find out more about him. That's a great way of showing God how much we love him. Maybe you could read the Bible or have someone read the Bible to you so that you could find out more about what God has done for us. Or maybe a really special way of you showing God how much you love him is by telling others all about his love. And so there's maybe somebody in your house that you could tell them all about God's big love.
A little while later, Jesus showed his love to the people in a big way. And he showed it to you and to me today as well. He did this by being nailed to the cross, by dying and by rising again 3 days later. He did it to take the punishment for our sin, a punishment that we deserved. And sin's the things that we can think, that we can say, or we can do that aren't the way that God wants us to live. He did it so that we could enjoy friendship with him and we could enjoy God's love forever. In our story that day, Mary showed her love for Jesus in a big way through perfume. And we can show our love for Jesus too. We don't need to go out and buy a bottle of perfume, but we can show it by choosing to follow Jesus, by living our lives as he did each and every day, and by telling other people all about him. Jesus put it this way in Mark chapter 12, verse 30. He said, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength." Do you think you could join in the actions with me? Let's try it again together. So Jesus said, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Let's try it one more time. See if you can join in the words and shout it out as loud as you can. He said, you must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Well done, you did a fantastic job. You were up for the challenge with that verse, but I want to give you a challenge for the week ahead. A challenge that has 2 parts. First of all, I want you to think, how can you show God that you love him in a big way? Maybe you can pick one of the ideas you were thinking about or talking about with Joel earlier on and carry that out this week. Maybe it's about doing chores that you don't normally do around school. Or maybe you could create some nice poster or a card for a lonely neighbour and leave it on their doorstep. Or even stick it to the front door or a window at the front of your house. So when delivery men are coming or the bin man's coming or the postman's coming, they can see that and be encouraged and be cheered up in their working day. Or maybe you've got another creative idea. What about even sending a message or creating a video for your teacher to thank them for all the work that they're doing, even though you're having school at home or doing it a little bit differently these days? Let your mind be really, really creative. But whatever idea you come up with, just make sure that you check it out with an adult at home or school first to make sure that it's a safe one. And we've come to the end of Expedition Force and our second week. We want you to remember this week as you go around your house, maybe as you're smelling lots of different things, remember how Mary showed Jesus that she loved him in a big way. But God showed us in an even bigger way how he loved each of us by sending his son Jesus. We'll be back in a few weeks' time on Wednesday, the 22nd of April for more Expedition Force. But until then, have lots and lots of fun over your Easter holidays and stay safe. Bye!